The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy. Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome into another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I am your host, Eric Clark, coming to you from the east side of Nashville, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to like it, give it a share. Make sure you're following me on all of my social media platforms, and make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. That way, if you've got a tune, a band, a video you want me to check out, you can leave it in the comment section below. But as I always say, just give it a read through real quick, the comment section. If you see yours has already been suggested, leave a like and an I concur, and that'll help me get it into the handy-dandy notebook. Before we get started in today's video, I do want to say thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, and Music to See. Aspen Dental saved my life. I'm feeling better, looking better, eating better, so thank you to them. Connect 200, they are the machines that power the wild side, so thank you to Rick and the gang at Connect 200. And thank you to Music to See. The photographs you see in the thumbnail for this video are provided by Music to See, and you can catch the links below on the YouTube page. It's real simple stuff, man. Easier than my sister. Today we are going back to the suggested trusty handy-dandy notebook, and we're going to Wembley 2015, and we're going to check out Nightwish and their version of 7 Days to the Wolves. I was told since my last one wrecked me so bad, I should check this one out because it has quite a different vibe to it. So we're going to check out Nightwish, 7 Days to the Wolves, Wolves live at Wembley. Here we go. Here, have some water. That's got a heavy tea party sound to it. Sorry, that's just hit me. Sorry. Didn't want to hear that. Sounded like the tea party. You know who that is. Good for you. Wow. Okay. So there's really a lot going on here that I don't think a lot of people are seeing. Maybe you are. Good for you if you are. What I like about Tuomas is his ability to build. So, and I don't mean just construct, I mean elevate. So when the song starts, it's got that gentle, like I said, that dulcet sound to that guitar and that mandolin that everybody's telling me the correct name for that I keep getting wrong. But what I like about Tuomas is that while the acoustics are creating that light, bright tone, he's also supporting it on this bed of heavy. So the orchestral that's coming in is this really super cool blend of this metal tone with this orchestral lightness to it. And the one thing that's really standing out for me is Empu's guitar. And so I had a chance to interview and have many conversations with a very famous guitarist, and he would always talk about saying, my job is to jump in when I'm asked to, do exactly what I'm asked to do very well, and then leave. And what he's doing right here in this intro, and you can hear it, there are these long tones and fills that he's making and runs that he's making that are just, I mean, they are right there. It's so subtle and it's so light and crisp, and it stands out so well. You hear that? Do you hear that? Wow, that it's just perfect. Just little drops like that, little drops of musical sunshine is what Empu is bringing into this storm, and it's just fantastic. Okay, so something I'm noticing here is, so everybody will fill me in and correct me. I'm getting a lot of information from a lot of people about a lot of people, and there's so many connections. I'm trying to keep them all together. But this song was written for the previous lead singer. Correct. If I'm not correct, please let me know below. And this is the genius of Tuomas. And I really want to say your last name, but I'm so scared I'm going to get it wrong. But his ability to write for what he has, because this is a different sound than what I'm accustomed to. It really is coming from Floor. Without a doubt, she's cutting through, like I've said in my previous, her ability right from the get-go. There's no ramp up with Floor's vocals. She's coming right in, or what we used to call in the military, she's a door kicker. She's a vocal door kicker, right? She's blowing the hinges off with a 12 gauge and coming in. There's none of that. But I'm hearing a different tone, a different sound of the song construction itself. What I'm hearing is, and again, I could be wrong here. What I'm hearing is a more, not an easier sound. That's not what I'm going with here. I'm going with a heavy Evanescence sound, a very mainstream sound, a very not simple, because this is not a simple track. But for vocally speaking, I'm not saying that Floor is I'm not getting the vibe that she's holding back. That's not what I'm saying. Because she's right, she's doing exactly what this song, and again, this is what I love about this band. Is she could very easily take this in a completely different direction, her own direction, but she's not. She's doing it the way Tuomas wants it done. And that's brilliant, just how it's done. But again, I'm getting a much more rhythmic vibration from this. And I really like it because, again, this is a very complicated track. 7 days to the and the two of them together, you can't be, again, it's cheat code. It's this cheat code of you're doing a duet with Marco. Okay, well, you're doing a duet with Floor. Okay, you're obviously the lucky one in the group. So that's how that's going to go. So their harmonies are perfect. Where will we be when they come? That even has a classic richness to it, doesn't it? That has such a throwback, the way that their tones meet each other in the middle there with that bass underneath, with that orchestral bass. It's such a classic, I don't know, man, it's just such a warm nostalgia that washes over me when I hear them harmonize like that, especially in this song. 7 days to the poison, got a place in heaven, time going near us, they come to take us. Wow, that was a really good exchange right there. She is staying right where she needs to be, man. It is so brilliant. Excuse me. It's so brilliant the way all of them are, and again, I know she's been on this was a tour. She was on, this was wrapping up this leg of the tour, so she was with them. But what I'm saying is, right, even at this point, man, their understanding of each other's place in this piece is so incredibly tight. It's just, and again, you know, she's right on the verge. They are all right on the verge of breaking loose. Like, this is one of those bands that at any moment it could pop off, right? Like, it's one of those club moments where at any moment it could pop off. But they are staying in that pocket and it's just brilliant to watch. Classic richness right there into that chorus. Just a beautiful breakdown. It goes from that orchestral modernity into that classic, almost like this verse, this chorus in this song with them harmonizing. Marco and Floor harmonizing sounds like wood paneling. It sounds like Time Life leather bound books. It just has this richness. It sounds like it smells like Old Spice. It's just a classic leathery richness that is beautifully textured by their not conflicting but almost conflicting register, sorry. But it's perfect the way that they're able to meet in the middle and find that groove. It's just wonderful. The more I listen to Empu play guitar, I did a recent reaction to Star One, and I talked about the distinction of Steve Vai's tone. And I always say that you can tell who's playing that guitar if they've established their tone into the zeitgeist very well. Eddie Van Halen, Angus Young, David Gilmour, I'll even say Tom Morello. These are very distinct tones. And while he does have a Pink Floyd-esque tone to it, I'm now starting to hear his tone. I'm starting to pick up Empu's tone, and I really, really like it because it's that comfortable tone. It's that safe tone. And I know that there was a time, especially around this period of recording this album even, he was worried that he was just some dude, wasn't really part of the group. But I'm telling you, that is a very distinctive tone that he creates with that guitar, and it's a beautiful tone. It just drips comfort. Wow. Okay. I know the song was written for someone else, but I know that no one can do it like that. So I know that there was another person involved with the original writing of this song, but I don't think anyone can do the clarity of that register and that tone right there that she's creating, her thickness through it. I talk about it all the time, how she's able to control up in here. And you can see it right there, where from the beginning of the verse to the end of the verse, nothing is lost. Nothing is lost in her modulation. Everything is crystal clear. Every letter of every word comes through. And it's just amazing how she can get to that modulation and volume and projection all within the same. And that is live. It's live, not Memorex. It's incredible. And I'll get to Kai. I have to point out the effortlessness of Troy right here. That is just incredible how this is a maelstrom of colors, right? What's happening here is just an absolute maelstrom of colors. These atoms of energy, of forward drive and forward momentum are just colliding within your brain, and they're banging off the inside of your skull, and it almost feels like your brain's going to explode. I talk about a show I was at where I saw a perfect circle, and the only way I could describe the show was that the venue was a cube, and the only thing holding it together were the very corners of each panel. And it was just expanding out, and just bright white light energy was coming out of this Pensacola Civic Center. And this is what's happening in my brain right here. It's just this building, this Scylla and Charybdis, and ships are crashing on the shores, and it's just this amazing explosion of colors in my head. And to look up and see that this guy is just like, the effortlessness, the ease, the comfort, what that does is that eases me. So it creates this warmth through this incredibly violent moment of the song. This building, sharpening swords. Yeah. It's just awesome. Killing.
Like a fire beast, she's the ghost giving. Take the road that's trouble, fighting the sea of fools.
Right there, man. That through that entire verse, just right up here. That is turned to 11, and she's still right there in that pocket of thickness. Just perfect.
Like a fire beast, she's the ghost giving. Take the road that's trouble, fighting the sea of fools.
Okay, it is incredible how she has another gear. When you think she's in her highest gear, she just goes to another one. If you get a chance, and this is going to be the dumbest comparison ever, and I know you're going to hate me for it, but here in Nashville, we have a team called the Tennessee Titans, and we have a phenomenal running back named Derrick Henry. And he's so big and so massive, he is a monster of a human being. And he is faster than everyone out there, and you don't think it, but he has another gear. You'll actually see him accelerate from track stars, and it's amazing to watch him do that. And that's all I'm thinking about when I hear that part of the song, is that she's going up, and right when you think she has hit that ceiling, she's got another gear, and it's just absolutely stupid.
She's the ghost giving. Take the road that's trouble, fighting the sea of fools. Somebody power. 7 days to the walls. Where will we be when they come? 7 days to the poison, and a place in heaven. Time growing near us.
I want that.
Time to take us. 7 days to the wall, 7 days to the wall. Where will we be when they come?
There's no competition between them. They're each in their own element, and the harmonies in there, like I said, it's that classic richness in that harmony. It's just unbeatable, man. Again, it's like cheat code up in here.
7 days to the poison, and a place in heaven. Time growing near us.
I've talked about this watching Marco and all of his performances, whether it was Tarot or the Finnish boy band he was in or whatever the case may be. What I love about him is in his cadence, he's very elusive in his cadence and his register changes. It's very elusive and very confusing. So when you listen to him sing, he goes somewhere you don't expect the vocal to go. So you're used to and again, he's got this such classic richness to his sound and his delivery and his tone. So you get into this comfort level of, okay, he's going to hit a note and then the note's going to do this. But it doesn't. He takes it just slightly somewhere else. And that subtle change, that subtle misdirection in his vocal is what really makes him unique. And I think it's just fascinating. Okay, I've got to back this up here and talk about this because I think it's super important that I say this. The ending of this, the last minute or so of this song, her scream at the end, these high-end registers that she's hitting here, 9 out of 10 people would turn that into yelling. Please know that there's a difference between yelling and screaming. So there's a vast difference between the two. That could have very easily, for any other singer, have come off as screechy and yelling. Thick, clear, concise, both of them are hitting a modulation that is intense. It is straining every part of them, yet their control. It's this old sergeant said something to me one time. The only thing keeping you upright and conscious is my self-discipline. And the only thing keeping the ending here of coming off the rails is the absolute control that these two have with themselves and with their harmony. This is a fantastic finish of a song. Absolutely insane abilities in this band. Just absolutely incredible. Just another example of why this is a cheat code band. So let's break it down real quick the way I like to do it with the Holy Trinity. I'll get rid of this real quick. So let's do the crowd. The crowd was enormous. And what I really found interesting is this is not a chick rock band. They're out there, okay? There are rock bands that appeal specifically to the female demographic, without a doubt. This is not one of them. to see that many young females up front banging warmed my heart. It really did. It made me feel like, okay, they got everybody out here. They've got them all, young, old, male, female. It doesn't matter. Again, I talk about two things you don't control. What makes you laugh and what makes your foot tap, or what makes your head bang is what that would be. You don't control yourself when you're banging your head. And the audience was very caught up in this because, again, let's go to musically speaking. Musically speaking, this is a very traditional song. So when I hear this, and I know that this album, if I'm not mistaken, the album that this song is from actually reached number 7 here in the U.S. on the modern rock charts. So it did have a trail. It did leave its mark, so to speak. And what I like about this song, I'm not trying to connect any dots here. I'm not trying to say causation, correlation, or anything like that. I'm just saying that is a very mainstream sound to a very out-of-the-box expectation. So what I mean by that is this. I don't think Tuomas ever writes songs for the radio. And again, there are bands that say, okay, we've got to write radio hits, and that way we get our thing and blah, blah, blah. So the song is not written to be a radio track. But what I'm saying is that song is what other songs like it wanted to be. So if we're playing those songs, the Evanescence, the Hailstorms, and this is not a slight on any of them, it's kind of like playing, it's like playing golf with a guy who's really good and then stepping out there with a pro. It's like you're going to see a difference here, man. There's a different level to what you're seeing here because the band is structured differently. The songs are composed differently because the American radio and music industry is a different culture. So I don't think, I'm almost positive he didn't write this to be like a radio hit. What I'm saying is the comfort and the nostalgia that chorus and even that riff, the maintaining orchestral riff between Tuomas on keys and Kai on the drums, that was a very familiar sound. While it contained all the modernity that Tuomas brings to the table, it contained the influences of that nostalgia. So that maintained that driving force. But that chorus was very rich in tradition. So it created this very earthy comfort tone to me. So while I was seeing bright lights with the orchestral forward drive between Tuomas and Kai, what Marco and Floor were bringing was the rich earth tones of this is going to sound so dumb. It's like sitting in a warm cabin on a snowy day, right? There's beauty all around you, but there's comfort in your position. So that's what they were bringing with that traditional, rich, leathery, Time Life, Old West books, if you will. These are images in my head. I'm sorry if the references go past you. I really do apologize. Ask me to explain, and I will. So now you've got Empu and Troy. This is what I love about this band is that it's almost 3 things that are happening at once here. So you have these 2 musicians over here in their pocket, and you have these 2 musicians here in their pocket, and then you have these 2 musicians over here in their own pocket, and all of them are colliding together on stage to create that one perfect groove, and it's just incredible. And Empu and Troy are over here creating that very, aside from the solo, I'll get to that, but what they're creating in the background is the ambient perfection of that dichotomy of beauty. So they're able to fill in the gaps, if there are any gaps, which I doubt there are, but if there are any gaps in the color pattern in my head listening to everybody else, what Empu and Troy are really good at doing, it's almost like spackle. It's like they're just filling in these little places that need it or could use it. And the way that they do it, like I said, is that Homer Simpson, you're out, you're in, you're out, you're asleep kind of a thing. And it's this lightness, it's this menthol, it's the dulcet tones, if you will, that take you back. And the whole thing together, the whole combination of all 3 of these pockets forming this one groove, what it does is the reason it makes this song so rich in tradition is that it does take me back to a halcyon period of enjoying music. So it takes me back to that tone, that sound, prior to being jaded by having 1,000 songs come across my desk every week. So it was really good to experience these three separate pockets forming this groove. And again, it's just a cheap mode of a band. And her vocals, again, I know the song was written with another vocalist in mind. What I respect about her, Floor Jansen, is that she didn't, a lot of singers would have stepped in and created their own imprint. Her imprint was within the confines of that writing. So she was able to stay in the box that Tuomas had written for that part. And I'm sure that Tuomas had expanded it as well. But it was different. This is quite different than what I had heard before from her. It is a little different. She didn't go into the operatic. She didn't go into the far stretches. But what she did is within that box, she expanded what was already in there. So it made the box almost, like I said, it looked like a stuffed pillow of bright energy and lightness. And it was just a really good color pattern. And I don't think she was holding back. I really don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I really think that she understands, and all of these band members, Marco, Empu, Troy, Tuomas, all of them, they understand when it's time and when it's not, even within themselves. And she stayed in there, and it was great. And again, Marco, man, the dude is just out there with is there a band in Europe that Marco hasn't done a gig with? I just did a video of Udo Dirkschneider, and he worked with him. So it's like, good Lord, man, the dude is obviously a wanted man. I'm waiting to see if he's going to hook up with Arjen Lucassen at any time, or if it's already happened, put it in the links below. So yeah, that was 7 Days to the Wolves live at Wembley from 2015. Believe it was December of 2015, so late in the year. Excellent performance, man. Again, great tune, great vibe, great richness, a real nostalgic and traditional classic sound to also a modern band, so it was really good. I love how Tuomas puts it all together. It's just, the Bob Ross of metal, man. Just happy trees everywhere. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for the suggestion. Again, if you have a suggestion for a tune, a band, a video you want me to check out, leave it in the comment section below. Or you can hit me up with a DM on any of my social media. All of the links are below. If you are going to leave a comment, just go through. If it's already been suggested, just hit a like and an I concur. I want to thank Aspen Dental, Connect 200, and Music to See. Aspen Dental, make sure I can eat. Connect 200, make sure I can connect. And Music to See has provided a lot of the photos that you see in these thumbnails. So I want to thank everybody for helping out the show and helping the channel grow. I want to thank everybody for their comments, their suggestions, their help with all my questions about copyright. And next I'll ask you about live streaming. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you to everybody who's been involved. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification button. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.